Did you also know that we could unmute ourselves right here?
What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday, happy post-elimination chamber, the road to WrestleMania. We are on it. We're driving down it. We are not obeying the speed limits. Everything is just absolutely insane right now. Thank you for joining us. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. My camera's off center, but we're live, and I'm not going to fix it.
Live, pal.
We're live, pal. So that's the end of that. We are live on Facebook.com/THS Wrestling News, YouTube.com/That Hashtag Show TV, Twitch.tv/That Hashtag Show, and check us out on Instagram, Instagram.com/THS.Wrestling. See what happens when you take a week off, gentlemen. You don't know what the hell's going on. My name's John, and I'm joined by Neesin and Jimmy. What's going on, guys?
Hello, what's up, guys? Just here after a quick sip of an elimination chamber. It was a great commercial break. It was amazing. On the road to WrestleMania. What about you? Good old.
I mean, it was a very quick go home pay-per-view to Fastlane, which will be the go home pay-per-view to WrestleMania. So
yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness. So I guess before we dive into it, I guess the first thing is you mentioned it, Neesin. Real quick show.
Yeah.
Real quick. What'd you think of it? What'd you think of the quickness of the show?
I thought that this was just a pre-show. It was an entire pre-show for a Peacock debut. I said this on Clubhouse yesterday, and I think people didn't take me seriously, but WWE is really, and Peacock are really staking everything on to this relationship, buying it for over $1 billion for 5 years. And I thought we just saw the basically the Super Bowl halftime commercial promo for Peacock's debut on
the pilot.
WWE debut on Peacock.
The pilot episode.
The pilot up. And I mean, I would say episode 0. I wouldn't say pilot. Episode 0.
All right, fair enough. Jimmy, what'd you think of the swiftness of this show?
You know, I couldn't believe how quickly it went, and then it was funny because the first part of the show is like, oh well, it took pretty much an hour with the first chamber match and with Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. So I'm like, okay, well maybe the second chamber match will be just as long, if not longer. But I was immediately proven wrong. And I mean, I know we'll probably get into it, but I'm sure one of the reasons is because they had to cancel one of the matches. But you know, they literally could have taken the match from the pre-show and put it on the main show. So don't know what.
Well, then everybody would have been wrestling twice, right? It just would have been a common thread between the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, what's going on, Ken? What's going on, Matthew? Thanks for joining us.
I was about to say, Matt. Wait, we would have lost money. Matthew wasn't the first person to comment.
I mean, you'd have to check down to the milliseconds here.
I don't know, man. Matthew, are you okay? What's going on, man? You need to talk to somebody. What's going on?
I will say, as soon as they announced the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber, I went, is this not the main event? And then I actually had to go check, and I went, oh, it is the main event. It's not even 6 yet. What are we doing here? I mean, it only clocked in 3 minutes less than the opening chamber, which is interesting. But we got some people commenting in the chat already. Guys, hit us up what you thought of the entire show. A to F grade. What would you give it? I'll start off. What? What's that?
I was A to F. I was doing
A to F.
A to F.
I would say, I mean, I'd probably give this a B minus. I'll go with a B minus. I thought the SmackDown, as usual, Elimination Chamber was very good. Even the sudden, like, oh, is Daniel Bryan going to beat Roman Reigns with a flash little submission there was cool. The Riddle Lashley Morrison match, I think, was better than I expected it to be. I don't know why, because we know Morrison can go. And I mean, hopefully now that Miz is the champion, we'll see a little more of Morrison on his own, doing his own thing. I think would be nice. The women's tag match, I'm sorry, guys, didn't do anything for me. Like, didn't do a thing, especially because it was the only women's match on the card, and we had to have a dude get involved, which is not great. There he is, Vision, not amused. And then the main event was, I mean, it was fine, but I mean, the shock of the Miz winning was pretty cool. So I think B- for me. Jimmy, what did you think?
I'm going with B- also. It probably would have been a solid B if it weren't for probably my biggest complaint of the entire show, which was the camera work. I don't know what went on.
Yes, dude.
I think they probably just felt like, oh, we have the ability to use all these cameras for the chamber because we have no audience. But I felt like it kept getting in the way. Like, there were multiple times at both chamber matches that cameramen were in the way of the action. So much so that was called out on camera twice, once by Corbin, once by Drew.
Yes.
And even in other matches, it's like they would cut away and miss certain things. So I don't know what went on. It felt like an episode of Dynamite.
Whoa. Neesin, what do you say to that?
I say, Matthew, are you getting your George Foreman grill ready to cook bacon in the morning?
Yes.
Office reference, Peacock. So yeah, I give it a C, and you guys are, I think people giving it B's, and you guys are being very generous. Yeah, Ken's with me. I definitely give it a C, because nothing real, like, it was nothing interesting besides the end. And I will give it credit. Yes, and the Edge and Roman situation was great. I thought the intensity that Edge showed, he really brought it. But just to run through Daniel Bryan like that, I get the injury and stuff. But I just felt it was this show did nothing for me. And if we're talking about the whole time, if you want to know my face during the whole time of the show, it was definitely this. This is me during the whole time of the last show of February of Black History Month. That was me. So hey, that was me. I give it a C because at the end of the day, Edge and The Miz did their thing.
All right. So let's see. Matthew gives it a B. He's making cheeseburgers on his George Foreman grill, which is great. I got to get me one of those. But let's go match for match here. Oh, okay, great.
I have an air fryer now.
Oh, I have an air fryer too. Oh, I guess I can just use that.
Hey.
Anyway, his injury, Matthew, his injury was his knee. The knee injury was what we were going with. But let's talk about that match. It was the first Elimination Chamber match. Daniel Bryan, Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, King Corbin, Sami Zayn, and Cesaro. Daniel Bryan ends up winning. I thought this match was fantastic. This was after the fact. Look at Daniel Bryan's face. He's like, oh man, this is where I messed up. Look, we've talked about it multiple times. SmackDown is the best thing going right now, and it shows just with this group of guys. I personally would have loved to see Cesaro take on Roman Reigns, but if that was the match that it was always going to be no matter what, I think I'm good. Because this doesn't hurt Daniel Bryan at all. If that was Cesaro, oh boy, that would have been awful. I would have been upset. But all the banter, Sami Zayn, I mean, he has a cousin who's down in Mexico right now. They're kind of similar, and I almost feel like if Sami Zayn goes back to the independents, I never want to see his cousin again, because I actually really enjoy the progression we've gotten of Sami Zayn.
Is that his cousin?
I think it's his cousin, isn't it? His friend?
Some other guy.
I thought they were related. Are they not? Anyway.
I don't know. All I know is that he's in an orphanarium in Tijuana somewhere.
I thought the orphanage burned down.
It did burn down. So who knows? He's roaming. Anyways, guys. I really love this match. I thought it was fantastic. Once again, we're making Jey Uso look like $1 million. His elimination of Kevin Owens was crazy. That was really, really well done. And I enjoyed the match. I would have loved to see Cesaro win, but Neesin, what do you think?
I thought the match was pretty solid. It was points where it just felt a lot like a little plotty for me and not enough, I guess, story. But with Kevin Owens flying off the top, doing a moonsault off the top of the cage, with Cesaro doing pull-ups after stomping down Sami Zayn off the cage. And these are just memorable moments with the one leg Cesaro swing and this into the super kick by Jey Uso. The winner to me from this match was Jey Uso. And I know we're going to talk about this later, but I think Jey Uso needs to be primed and ready to go for a WrestleMania match, because at the end, like, this to me showed that he is main event Jey and he should stay that way.
You mentioned that, and we talked a lot about it last night on Clubhouse. Who's Big E going to face at WrestleMania? And I think if we're not going to get Jey versus Jimmy, we should get Jey Big E, because Jey could also be like, oh, I was part of a group now too, and I'm bigger than you are, and I want that title.
Or he could just do what he did to Kalisto on Talking Smack and just come up and shut Big E up and go take the Intercontinental title. And then imagine the head of the table with his family, and they're holding the gold after WrestleMania, and then Cesaro goes to get that gold. Because, guys, look, I've said it on Clubhouse last night, says if whoever doesn't, between Daniel Bryan and Cesaro, whoever doesn't win the Elimination Chamber in order to face Roman Reigns after, is going to be Roman Reigns' first major storyline coming out of WrestleMania. And you could tell they're priming up Cesaro for something. Priming him up.
Fingers crossed. Matthew, Big E versus Kofi versus, get out of here, Matthew.
Okay. All right. Man, go back to your cheeseburgers, Matthew.
Jimmy, what did you think here of our opening Elimination Chamber match?
I felt it was the match of the night. And as you said, like, SmackDown just kills it each time. And I don't know what else is to say aside from what you guys said, but and leading it into Roman at the end, and that possible flash finish, that pulled me in. That really pulled me in. I'm like, wait, did they really just switch it up on us? And they ended up doing that later. But honestly, match of the night, and can't really say more than what you guys said.
Yeah, and then we did get the match, the match afterwards, the under 2-minute match between Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, with the almost like, oh shit, he's gonna tap him. And then Roman just proceeds to beat the shit out of him for about 45 seconds. But the Edge, we have to talk about Edge staking his claim, spearing the hell out of Roman, and in the roll starting to point to the sign. Loved it. I thought it was so well done. Roman sold the spear like $1 million, as he always does, and this is where we're headed. WrestleMania, Edge versus Roman. I guess, Jimmy, are you surprised that this is where we went?
I'm definitely not surprised. I feel like they were definitely leading it on more than anything else, because especially after this past week's SmackDown, with Edge going to each chamber participant and saying that, the potential of that match might happen, compared to him being on Raw, like, apples to oranges. Like, he basically was teasing the entire time he was going to go after the WWE title, even after Raw, even after NXT. It just felt like, okay, well, which of these Elimination Chamber participants or Roman Reigns is he going to face?
Edge with the fresh Nikes. That's true.
You thought I wasn't going to bring this up? I have a whole soliloquy about these shoes that I got coming up.
He got customs too, man.
Let's hear it.
Okay, guys, listen. But since Roman Reigns came back, he's been really low-key killing the game with Jordans. I don't know if he had a sponsorship, but it's between him and Shane McMahon that wears the dopest Jordans, and more specifically, Jordan 1s. But tonight, Edge comes through with the camel mid, and I'm not even a mid fan, the camel mid Jordan 1s. Like, when I saw these, I was like, I had a freeze frame. It's like, wait a minute, what? Did he just Did he just run in and do a spear, point at the sign, and get some fireworks in some camel mid Jordan 1s? Edge needs to win the title. Edge needs to win the title just for this reason. I know he's not gonna win, but god damn it, he needs to win just for this reason. Because boy, when you come in with some heat like this, when you drop some fire like this on a ring, and you're doing wrestling moves and just so effortlessly like this, give that boy all the gold. Give that boy all the gold.
Oh, we'll talk about that later. My prediction from yesterday. I didn't know if we should segue to that. Yeah, Edge with the fresh Nikes. My God. Let's move on to our next match, which was a triple threat match for the United States Championship. Originally scheduled to be Keith Lee, who is replaced by John Morrison, who won a fatal 4-way in the pre-show. So it's Morrison, Riddle, Bobby Lashley. Riddle picks up the win and is our new United States champion. I thought this match was, as I said at the top of the show, better than I thought it would be. Riddle winning the United States Championship. I don't know. I really loved what I saw out of Lashley. I thought he looked great, with the exception of, him dropping the title. Neesin, I feel like you've got something to say here.
I mean, look, I don't really have anything to say. Listen, I get Riddle, but I don't get Riddle. I'm a Riddle fan, but who is Riddle? They have not said who is Riddle, what is he about, what's the character, what is Riddle, just what is Riddle? They never explain that. They just put him on TV. They have him do these little gimmicks or whatever, and etc. But they want us to care about him winning the United States title. And I was watching Sasha Banks's Broken Skull thing, and it's one thing that that Austin and Sasha said is like knowing your character, knowing who that is, and being able to connect and identify with that. Right? Like that makes everything else easier in the ring, all that stuff. It was when they found out that makes the package actually solidified, and that could put you in whatever title picture. I feel like this is just a title to keep like NXT smart marks happy, fans, whatever you want to call it. But what are they going to do with Riddle afterwards? And same thing I thought was, what are they going to do with Lashley afterwards? We see now what they're going to do with Lashley afterwards. But on the flip side, what the hell is going on with Keith Lee? And why John Morrison when you could have had at least Ricochet in there? Or I wouldn't put Ali in there because that's not Ali's character to go after the United States Championship. But you could have put Ricochet in there. It didn't have to be Morrison. I knew Morrison was going to win for that. So it just left me like, nah. I liked how Bobby Lashley looked. He looked like a monster. I was excited. I was excited afterwards to see where they take him. And now I'm more excited because we see that he's going to be a big fixture in the main event status.
Jimmy, would you have rather, after the Keith Lee injury was announced, would you have rather this have been a one-on-one match? Or do you think if it was a one-on-one match, they would have had to change plans and keep the title on Lashley?
Yeah, I really do think they would have kept it on Lashley had this been on one-on-one. By keeping it a triple threat, first of all, Lashley was not made to look weak whatsoever in this match, even
absolutely not
losing the title.
Not at all.
He was still made to look like a monster. It took 2 crutch hits for him to stumble out of the ring, not even just like collapse or fall. He was just like stumbling around, and it's like, oh, he just got distracted for a bit by getting hit by a crutch, and then Riddle was able to take advantage. So yeah, it doesn't make Lashley look weak. So we know where he's going now, and it just finally ends that feud of Riddle and Lashley that we keep seeing over and over and over again on Raw. And you said Neesin, you said, like they could have put Ricochet in this match, and they very well could have, but I think it would have been a rehash of the Ricochet versus Hurt Business, and I didn't think we needed to see that again. Whereas we're already seeing a rehash of Ricochet versus Retribution, like during the pre-show.
Guys,
So
this has been the show of rehashes. If you didn't know, we had a rehash of Drew and Sheamus. We had a rehash of AJ Styles and Randy Orton. We had a rehash of Randy Orton and Drew. We had a rehash of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. We had a rehash, like it was rehash of AJ Styles and Kofi Kingston. Matter of fact, and I know this is your time. Speaking of rehashes, I thought this. I'm like, these two chambers have people that I'm really, I wouldn't say excited to see, but I'm like, I've seen them in these main event spots or places.
In these environments, yeah.
In these environments. But then I saw a tweet and it spoke to my heart by our own, the best kept secret again, Buddy Murphy. And what does he say? He says, how about a chamber full of the future? Murphy, Ali, where's Aleister Black? Somebody need to put an APP out on Aleister Black. Cedric, Kalisto, Apollo, Gable, Ricochet, Alberto. What happened to him? He grew a beard and nobody noticed it. He's just running after the 20, running after Bad Bunny with a beard. Angel Garza and Drew Gulak. Know about Drew Gulak, but all of those. I mean, I like Drew Gulak, but in the main title picture right now, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I know that's
for everyone.
Yeah. So it's just that's what was speaking to me. But I do think what Ken said, the triple threat. I think that's where definitely we're going. We're getting Lesnar, Drew, and Lashley, and I'm excited. Like that gets me excited for that main event picture because that's just a bunch of brawlers that love to fight.
And we never did get that Lesnar Lashley match that people had been clamoring for when Lashley came back.
Guys, I had a video of Leo Rush saying Lashley. I'm just telling everybody I'm mad that it won't play right now. I've been sitting here trying to play it this whole time. Because this is the moment. This is the moment that we wanted during that run of Lashley having a main event in a WrestleMania or in a bigger picture.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to our next match, which was the WWE Women's Tag Team title match. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retained their titles against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. When Reginald comes there and he's like, yeah, use this bottle. And man, I don't get it. Oh, he's so upset. This match was fine. I don't know, guys. I was not really digging this. I feel like the match itself made no sense when we had Nia and Shayna go to NXT and be like, we're going to defend these titles against you. And then on Friday, they were like, never mind, we're going to defend it against Sasha and Bianca first. I did like seeing Bianca and Sasha work as a team, but that's really about it. I don't really got a lot to say. Neesin?
The best thing about this match was the coordinated ring gear. Bianca and Sasha with the coordinated ring gear. Like, I really want to see them as a legit. I'm so sad that we're gonna get them feuding against each other at WrestleMania because I really want to get them as a tag team. I feel like it could be a lot of potential there. They could with like old guard NXT and new guard NXT kind of, and then them going across 3 brands and really making a statement. I'm so sad we're not going to get to see that. But that was the best part of this match, man. I'm hopelessly optimistic that this whole Reginald thing is going to lead to something fruitful. Like I don't know, man. I'm holding out. I'm not going to be a negative Neesin on here. I'm not going to be that.
Let me ask you, what would you like it to lead to?
That's a nice question because I don't think I would like to lead to Sasha turning heel, maybe pairing up with Reginald, and maybe Reginald having a little stable of some sort, but it makes Sasha turn heel, and that's how we get heel Sasha versus Bianca.
I feel like, and I mean, this just might be me playing devil's advocate. I feel like that if we do that, then we have the problem of having maybe too many heels on SmackDown in the women's division.
Yeah, but I mean,
it doesn't really matter, I guess, because it's not like she's going back and hanging out with Bailey.
I ask you this though. I asked Jimmy this. Would you rather see two baby faces in a main event of WrestleMania, or would you want to see a heel versus a baby face in a WrestleMania?
I mean, I would rather see a heel versus a face. So
yeah, I feel like that's standard WrestleMania fare. You need to have the ultimate heel versus the ultimate face going at each other for whatever match at WrestleMania. But I'm very curious because I don't know where this is all supposed to lead with not just Reginald, but also with Carmella, because right now Reginald's getting way more camera time than Carmella, which is strange.
Very weird.
He's the sommelier.
But Vince likes the way he talks, so he has to have him on the camera, and he could do the flippy things with the women.
See, this is starting to remind me of a certain angle with someone who was involved with Alicia Fox.
I will say right now, if this whole Reginald thing somehow leads to Carmella weaseling her way into this match and making it a triple threat, I will be very upset.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that happening. I can really see it happening, unfortunately.
Let's get a live picture of Neesin, how he'll look at it.
Yeah, that would be like horribly, like Carmella should be in the Mae Young Battle Royal or whatever they call it.
She already won that.
Cool. She can be in it again. Like, keep her away from this title. At least until after Mania. I'm not saying like keep her away from it completely. Just.
But to your point, there's not enough faces on the women's side on SmackDown that she could feud with right now and help build.
Like, yeah, I can't even think of anybody.
Who else is there?
No one.
Anybody in the chat? Who else is there? Somebody help us. We're trying.
I don't even know. Yeah, they sent everybody to Raw.
Well, that means it's time for maybe, I don't know, a face to come up from NXT. Maybe I don't know. What's her name? She was main eventing in WrestleMania last year.
Oh, Rhea.
Oh, yeah, that chick, Rhea Ripley, the chick that actually challenged Charlotte at WrestleMania.
Yeah, where's that? Where's she been?
Come on. That's the perfect person that should be over there.
Let's go. Let's move on to our main event here. It was the Elimination Chamber for the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre retains momentarily against AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Kofi Kingston. This was an Elimination Chamber match, and it had people that have been in the match before, and they did some moves, and Kofi Kingston commented on Randy Orton's thighs. It was great.
Hey guys, let's check in live to how Pingel was watching the show.
Listen, this main event was okay. I didn't think it was anything really to write home about, if I'm being honest. Like, Jeff Hardy starting out the match, I was like, woof. Oh no, is she really supposed to be on Raw tomorrow? Jesus. Don't do that. Jesus. Come on.
That's the setup for Rhea.
But they have to.
Asuka?
Rhea versus Asuka versus Charlotte. Like, they have to now because what's her name? Evans. I can't see her names today. Lacey Evans is out. Like, she's legit shoot pregnant by Ric Flair.
Literally had to stop that angle.
Yeah.
And they went the direction that they could have gone, but yeah.
Right. Like, you could have did this a lot. You could have went Rhea, Charlotte, building up, and then went to Asuka. But now it's like, oh, now we have to stop it and go to it. Yeah.
I mean, everybody misses the Attitude Era so much. Here's your Attitude Era storyline. Ric Flair impregnating a woman half his age.
More than half his age? Ric Flair is like 70 something, right?
Yeah, more than half his age. There you go, everybody. You're welcome. They did what you wanted. Why don't you like it?
You want an attitude era things. They did that all the time. They just stopped storylines in the middle of everything.
So we'll treat this as a separate match from the 30-second banger we had afterwards. What did you guys think of this match as a whole? Because honestly, it didn't really do anything for me.
I'll tell you what I thought of it the whole time. This. Where was the Fiend? Why didn't we see him? And soon as we didn't get him, I was shaking my fist. I was shaking my hurt fist, not my heel fist. I was shaking my hurt fist. So, yeah, again, it goes back to what I said earlier. Like you said too, it was people we seen in Elimination Chamber match doing Elimination Chamber things, and it felt like we were just getting to a point. Now, I will say this: I don't think AJ Styles meant to hit that.
No, he did not.
That senton like that. It looked like he slipped, but
it's why he did it again afterward.
It was stiff, and
it looked cool.
Yeah, it looked cool, but it looked like I'm sure Drew McIntyre squeezed something out a little bit after that, because it came down heavy. I just thought this show, or this Elimination Chamber, they really gave it their all. Nobody skipped out on anything. I thought Jeff Hardy got slung around the most. I felt like we just watched him get slung around for however long this match was. Like, he literally was just getting thrown. And they dropped the ball with Kofi. Like, on Clubhouse yesterday, we talked about, like, I crapped on them about not paying off the angle with Ali and Kofi in an Elimination Chamber, but I was like, hey, they have the opportunity to take him out before. I don't like that it's this fast, but they have the opportunity. And Kofi comes out and he looks around. I'm thinking like, oh, Ali's coming. Was good. Ali's coming, and then he just gets in there, and then he just stays in there, and then I'm like, okay, maybe Ali is going to rip the door off with his henchmen and rip Kofi out of the match. And then we just get that with Omis ripping the door off and getting AJ Styles around. So it was, I just felt like it was until then.
Yeah, I mean, I will say like the elimination of Randy Orton was very just like, oh, that was cool, but but then nothing happened afterwards. Which is kind of like, whatever. Also, AJ Styles just waltzing into the Elimination Chamber without the countdown and just started pinning people, and everyone's like, yeah, all right, sure, why not? Jimmy, what did you think of this match?
Yeah, speaking on the whole AJ thing, I feel like every Elimination Chamber match here on after is like, wait, we can do that, right? So in theory, why wouldn't everyone just try to break down the Pyrex or plexiglass, whatever it is, from here on out? I mean, they very much could do that.
Won't they just learn and put real glass up? Come on, WWE. Like,
I mean, when you played SmackDown versus Raw and you had the Elimination Chamber match, they would always do the glass shattering sound, even though it was never glass. And I don't know what it was about this particular match, but like, I feel like, I mean, even with the women's match before, but I feel like a lot of the people were off. Like, you talked about AJ kind of messing up that initial springboard 450, and he ended up doing a senton. But then there was also that moment where Randy went to do the draping DDT on Drew, and I guess Drew leg came up, and he had to step up and put his leg back. I'm like, first of all, the draping DDT is bad enough as like, you know, those unbelievable moves, but like, for you to put your foot back up in order to no. And the timing was off at certain points, like, you know, everyone's trying to hit their mark, and it was just, I don't know, it seemed parts of this match seemed off, like with Sheamus just standing there waiting for AJ to hit him with the phenomenal forearm, and even some spots with Jeff, they just seemed off, and I don't know what it was, but yeah, it kind of made this match kind of lackluster, even though it had some of its moments, but other than that, like, not much to it.
And Drew retains. The chamber comes up. Everyone's like, he did it, everybody. He did the thing. He's still the champion. But Bobby Lashley comes out and beats the ever-loving crap out of him. And that sets up The Miz cashing in. We saw this little conversation before. There's more to this, obviously, which we will find out tomorrow, I assume. There's more to what this conversation had. But Miz is our WWE champion once again for the first time in 10 years. It's been 10 years since he was WWE champion. For me, this feels fresh. I know it's not a long-term thing, but it's like, oh, this is cool and new. I want to know what you guys think. And I also want to know, like, how are we feeling about Drew McIntyre in the main event picture? Because I'm kind of not feeling it.
Man, it sucks. It sucks because Drew McIntyre has given his all and he's really worked so hard to be in this position and he's done everything he can, but he's been the one victim to the pandemic. And since WWE is little behind on having fans in the arena or just in a facility to get actual reactions and not piped in reactions, he's been the one taking the fall for that. It's hard to have a baby face, clear, white meat baby face in today in general, but it's hard to have one with no fans. And then you keep booking him like a white meat baby face. Like, this is the first time to me he's really showed aggression and edge from top to bottom, and then he loses the title.
Yeah.
Right. So, and it does feel fresh, but it also sucks that The Miz would not walk into Mania with that title. Like,
oh yeah.
I don't believe in people deserve things. I believe in people earn things, and The Miz has earned a heavyweight title opportunity and run at least since that Talking Smack back in 2016.
100%,
right?
Yeah.
So this is 5 years. 5 years of The Miz should have had a title run, and now that he's gonna get it, he's not gonna make it to WrestleMania with it. But how smart is Peacock? Peacock is owned by NBC Universal, which owns USA, which who has a show on USA? Miz and Maurice. This is fantastic because now they're taking two birds with one stone where they could shoot episodes with him having a title forever long periods of time. And then when the next season or whenever the season airs, they can have that as their leading episode and during whatever sweeps week, and it could get ratings. So kudos to them for just doing that and thinking that far out. And also have him lose the title at Fastlane.
Jimmy, what do you think? What do you think of The Miz, and what do you think of Drew McIntyre's run in the main event? And I will also say I'm a huge Drew McIntyre fan, so I'm not. I think he deserves it. He should be there, but this feels just very bleh.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and like to Neeson's point, when there's no crowd there for Drew to feed off the energy, then everything just seems kind of bland. And unfortunately, they haven't really been writing anything for him. It's just basically, oh, here's my feud with Randy, and that's most of the summer. And here's my feud with Sheamus now. And it's just basically, oh, let me just battle all these really bigger guys and not really give me that much of a, palette of other kind of contenders that he can face. Like, throw a program with someone else who's not generally in the picture. I mean, we saw that tweet from Buddy Murphy. Do something with that, because I feel like every program we've seen with Drew McIntyre, we've seen with someone else, but it's been done better. So why can't we actually do something different with Drew? And
well, you know why? Because he does everything Roman Reigns doesn't want to do.
Fair point. Or at least something that Roman Reigns has already done.
Hey.
And Miz winning the title, I'm a fan for it, and we all know that it's not going to last. And I think we can readily assume that him talking to MVP was, "Hey, Lashley will help you win the title. And if you win the title, then your first shot goes to Lashley. Fastlane, Lashley versus Miz. Lashley wins the title, and then we get that title match that we're expecting at Mania.
Oh, you think they'll put the title on? I love that.
Yeah. So personally, I think that we're going to see Lashley have the title going into Mania, and then whether it's Lashley and Drew or Lashley, Drew, and Lesnar, I still see Lashley going past Mania as champion.
So before you hop in, Pingel, to that point, I know Ken said Lashley was on a bump today, and basically like said something to that nature about going with Brock. He was actually on a bump a couple of weeks ago where he was speaking about there's some big things planned in the future. Like he did another interview as well. He's been doing a couple of interviews where he's basically saying like he will soon be going after that main title. And I think him walking into WrestleMania with the title and Drew winning it back and with fans for the third time, I think that's where we're gonna get to.
That's a good fresh match. I mean, for WWE, it happened. I believe Mike said it happened in 2016 in Impact, but it's, we haven't seen Bobby Lashley in that main event spotlight in WWE since he's gotten here the second time. So I am for that for sure.
And it'll be a triple threat because they're gonna if they're gonna have fans, they're gonna want Brock.
Yeah.
With fans comes Brock, guys. That's just the WWE way since 2011, 12.
Now, is Brock with Heyman?
Nah, he's on. Well, on Raw. I'm assuming. I would hope Brock comes back as a different Brock. I would hope we get
bearded Brock.
I would hope we get bearded Brock.
Why do we never get bearded Brock?
We had him once.
Did we?
Yeah, he came. He was on there once. Was it Dean Ambrose?
Yeah, but it wasn't full bearded Brock. It was.
No, it wasn't.
It was bearded Brock.
Yeah. But hopefully we get bearded Brock. Hopefully we get words he speaks, but very minimal Brock.
Yeah.
But we don't. We'll see.
Sure debuted 5 years ago on Impact today. All right. I mean, I don't. That was Elimination Chamber. I actually have one side thing that I want to talk about. It was on AEW. It's real quick. What did we think of? Guys. No. Come on. What did we think of Sting taking the powerbomb?
I was scared shitless, guys. Guys, we talked about this. The one I don't mind Sting wrestling. It's just the last time we seen Sting wrestled, he almost died. Like not Call of Duty died where you respawn right after. He almost died, deaf, gone. And then he took a power bomb. Not only a power bomb, a Brian Cage power bomb. I was scared shitless. I immediately, me and Pingel text right away was like Sting right away. The text was just Sting took a power bomb. A Brian Cage no, I said Sting took a bump. He said a Brian Cage bump. Like I was scared. That was my thought. Scared shitless, and I hope he's okay.
Jimmy.
I mean, I honestly, you say you don't mind seeing him wrestle. I feel like I'm done seeing Sting wrestle. We've seen it. We've seen the highs and the lows, and he retired at the Hall of Fame, and I don't need to see it anymore because I know we're not going to get the Sting of old or even the Sting that we saw in WWE. It's even worse now. And I don't, even if the match is theatrical or cinematic or whatever, I still have no desire to see that. I just feel like, there's no need anymore. He can come on as an on-air personality, and I'm fine with that. But taking any bumps, being a part of a match, he doesn't need to. He's Sting. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's 63, right?
He's something.
I don't even know, but either which way, he shouldn't be taking any bumps.
He's something like that. Steve Borden is age is 61.
61 years old, guys. Like I said, I freaked the fuck out. I didn't know what to do. I was scared shitless. I kept checking Twitter, making sure he wasn't going to get a Sting was rushed to the hospital. Woke up the next day. I checked Twitter again, making sure checking all the websites. Is Sting okay? Is Sting okay? Is Sting okay? So we'll see, man. But that's why they're not that's why they're having a street fight or not having a match. Why? To minimize the actual bumps.
Absolutely. Anybody else have anything before we get on out of here? Before we do some plugs?
I do. I want to know. Give me your as of right now. Yeah, as of right now, February 21st, 2021. 022121. What are your 3 matches that you have booked in for WrestleMania besides Edge and Roman?
Book that we don't already have inklings of?
That we already don't have inklings of.
Well, I want to just say I went on record yesterday that at not Roadblock, not Fastlane. Was Roadblock one of their pay-per-views? I feel like it was.
Yeah. Roadblock was a house show that they had as a pay-per-view.
Glorified house show.
I think we're gonna get Edge and Christian versus Roman and
you
Jay.
did say that.
I think that's going to be the first thing on Peacock. I think that's where we're going to go with that. Roman doesn't have to defend the title, but we do see Edge and Roman fight during that. So I think that's where you go, and you get Christian. Why not?
How do you get into that program though, with Edge choosing Roman as the title holder?
I almost assume. Christian's backstage for some reason. He bumps into Roman. He has Jay beat him up. That it's pretty simple. I feel. I don't think it needs to be too drawn. And then they kind of goat Christian into coming. You always say one last match. Why don't you have one last match with the best, with the head of the table? So something like that. For Mania, I assume we'll probably get some sort of ladder match. I honestly don't know. Mania is so up in the air to me. Like even the matches that the Lashley Drew Lesnar with Lashley's the champion. I went, oh, that sounds great. That sounds really cool. I don't know. I think one thing that I mentioned yesterday that I think speaking of Christian, I think Big E versus Christian for the Intercontinental title would be fun. I don't know how you get there, but I mean, they've been teasing it because it was the match that never actually happened before Christian retired, I believe. I think that would be nice. And then I guess Asuka Rhea would be fun, but honestly, I think Asuka Io Shirai is better. I think she needs to drop the title and come up and just have that match. I think that would be really cool too. And I don't know. Maybe we do get Riddle AJ for the US title. Maybe that's another one that we do. That's all I can think of right now.
Jimmy?
I'm going to stick to my guns with the Lashley McIntyre Lesnar match.
Okay.
I'm then going to go. Hopefully, it'll go past Fastlane, but Big E versus Apollo for the IC title.
Okay.
And I'm just going to take a stab in the dark, out from left field from this one, just because, like trying to mix it up because it's Mania. Who knows? For the women's tag team titles, the challengers, the Riot Squad, Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott versus the women's tag team champions, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez.
I'd be down with that. I think that'd be a fun match.
Okay. I like that. Matthew says Bad Bunny versus Bow Wow.
Let's go.
Yeah, where's that going? I mean,
well, it's gonna be Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus Miz and Morrison.
Exactly. Hence why Miz is not having a title anytime. But that also foreshadowed him saying you don't have a title or you're not a champion early in the show. So that was great foreshadowing, WWE. Great foreshadowing there. My 3. Look, I want Jey Uso versus Big E. I like the Christian idea, but I think Jey Uso versus Big E is money because they're always money when they're in a tag team. And it'll be great to see giving Big E that spotlight and giving Jey Uso that spotlight because those two dudes have put in work. Wow. So I was actually going to say Keith Lee versus Riddle for the U.S. title, and Ken said it in the championship. You said it in chat. So that was going to be my second one, and then right now for my third one, I think we need to see. My high pick is Adam Cole versus. I was gonna say Karrion Kross versus Randy Orton, but the Fiend didn't pop up, and like that means that it's not done and won't be over to WrestleMania, and they're gonna figure that out. So now I'm like, it has to be somebody from NXT they bring up, and I just want to see Adam Cole versus like a maybe even like an Xavier Woods, since Kofi Kingston is gonna have Ali, Xavier could have Adam Cole, and Big E could have Jay, and now you get last year. And the year before that, you had the New Day as a team on WrestleMania, but now they have 3 individual matches. And I think that'll be something dope.
That would be
left, right.
That would be cool, but I don't think Adam Cole's going anywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Also, did we all apologize to Pat McAfee?
I didn't.
Wow, why not? He was right. He told you this whole time. That is also like, we've got all the stuff happening in NXT, and then Pat McAfee being like, "Hi guys, Pat McAfee here. Remember when I was right and this guy was an asshole the entire time? All right, I'll see you guys later." It's so good.
He's an amazing
Pat McAfee's that guy. He's that guy.
Yes, absolutely. Dominic versus Rey Mysterio in a hair versus mask match.
No.
I mean, no, because Seth versus Cesaro is another one I heard. That's where we're going for Mania.
For sure. Jennifer Lawrence versus Emily Blunt. That's what I want to see for Mania. And I just want Emily Blunt to have a squash match with her and beat her in 6 seconds.
And then be Sue Storm. Is that what?
Yeah, I was gonna say, would you say 4 seconds?
4.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys, let's get on out of here. Everybody in chat, thank you for joining us. This was a lot of fun. We're here every Sunday. Someone please hire Billy Kay to do whatever it is she wants. I'm not sure what it is, but she's got resumes, folks. We're here every Sunday at about 7 p.m. and we're talking about wrestling, and it's great, and we appreciate that everyone comes and joins us. Jimmy and Neesin, do you guys have anything to plug? Let's start with Jimmy.
For those of you who don't know, I'm part of another show called Mask Mats and Mayhem. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at MMMShow75. The other guys on the show actually did an exclusive interview with the one and only Vampiro for Expo Lucha happening on March 20th. The day begins at 10 a.m. and there will be a bunch of matches from a bunch of different luchadors. And part of the programming is that interview with Vampiro. And let's just say that there is a lot of shooting involved. And Vampiro did not hold back on a lot of topics. So definitely check that out. Once again, you can get more information from at MMMShow75 and Expo Lucha at expolucha.com.
That's awesome. And I will also say I've been trying to watch a lot more Lucha this year. And a big part of that is I highly suggest everyone goes follows the Twitter account Lucha Robot. So twitter.com/Lucha Robot. They post past results, current results, and some other stuff that you might find pretty interesting in the match category. So that's how I'm keeping up with Lucha this year. Neesin, what do you got to plug, my friend?
Guys, if you are just a psycho like I am when it comes to WandaVision, then you should watch our WandaVision after show. Where last week we interviewed David Patton, aka Herb from WandaVision. We have some more interviews lined up, but we just went crazy for episode 7 and broke down all the Easter eggs that was in that because it was her all along. At least for now. And at least there's one person on here so by the way, Jimmy posted something on his Instagram that was funny that I meant to grab, that he said the faces that he makes when people make outlandish theories about WandaVision. I actually told the story on our show / podcast, is a video plus podcast, about the time when Jimmy came to me and I tried to get him drunk to get secrets out of him, and he didn't tell me anything. And I was so upset because I'm like, how? And I actually told this to David. I was like, what type of spell does Marvel have you under? And he said, no, it's fine. They just have like guns pointed at us. And we joked about it the whole episode. And but he also said that it's just people don't want to fumble the bag. And he said I'm a terrible person because I proceeded to try to get him drunk and hound him with questions. And I said, no, I'm just a reporter. That's what I do. So and he also was enthused because I came at him with 1,000 questions and I made him sweat, and it was great. I live for those. I live for those moments.
You feel like you can answer. I'll say that much.
You said what?
It's very selective of what you think you can answer in some way without saying anything.
Oh yeah, it's great. Like, he literally had to stop me and say, look, you're throwing 1,000 bullets at me and I can't dance all of them. So I'm just going to tell you, I can't say anything.
I mean, because the three most powerful letters in our industry, NDA,
baby.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I am the firm believer of they're meant to be broken, and I will break them. If we're live, if we're like, if you tell me something in secrecy, I would never say it. But if we're on camera, I'm going to try to get you. But just if you're fan, yeah, right. If you're a fan of that, guys, please make sure you check that out. We are, as far as the intercession, guys, we have new episodes coming. We have more like crazy content been working. Also, we have watch lists on THS coming out for Coming to America 2, which I'm not gonna spoil my watch list, but I mean, come on. And then it's really a lot of stuff coming. So I would say definitely stay tuned to thathashtagshow.com this week, and follow me on my Instagram to find, follow me on my Instagram to find out. Been really lagging on my Instagram, but
hey, and don't forget your Twitch.
Oh, and I Twitch. Yeah, guys, I'm a Twitcher now. So please follow me on my Twitch at Stay Fly Life. I play Call of Duty a lot, and I'm also going to start a Twitch show. You said what?
Rope them handles.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna throw them up right now. Oh, I thought she had me. But yeah, if I'm about to start an actual Twitch show, actually, I'm in the forms of like figuring it all out. So, guys, a lot of stuff coming, and just trying to be connected with our fans. Follow us on Clubhouse as well, because we're doing this Clubhouse wrestling movement. So
yeah,
if you're here.
We had a great time yesterday on Clubhouse. It was a lot of fun. I'll tell you, I've been kind of like, I'll jump into rooms sometimes and it's just like, and I'm like, forget it. I can't do this. But yesterday was a lot of fun. We had a lot of cool people talking about Elimination Chamber. So check us out on there. NOTLG.com is where all my podcasts live. I have a supernatural podcast that I just started up. Our first episode dropped about 2 weeks ago. I have a Doctor Who podcast called Podcastica. We're watching classic episodes, and Tornado Tag Radio, which is my wrestling podcast, and we do that whenever Marianne's available. So that's it for us this week. Facebook.com/THS Wrestling News, Instagram.com/THS.Wrestling. Huge shout out to Justin for always just putting great content up over there. He's holding it down over there for sure. YouTube.com/ThatHashtagShowTV, Twitch.tv/ThatHashtagShow, and most importantly, guys, ThatHashtagShow.com for everything trending in geek pop culture. And we'll see you guys next week.